It's Work on Yourself Wednesday. I'm Kurt Folk. Today I want to talk about imposter syndrome. So last April, I was invited to go to my company's customer/user conference. And I was the only seller from our mid-market team to be asked to go. It was a huge honor. I arrived excited. I arrived without bags, but that's an entirely different story. Now listen, I knew many of the other sellers that were going to be there. I knew management that was going to be there. But the sellers, and some of that was some pressure that I wasn't ready for. It was like, we're talking like the sellers, the big dogs, right? If I'm honest, I was feeling like an imposter. And in my head, I was thinking things like, you just got lucky so far with this year. You don't really know what you're doing, but you just got lucky. It should have been someone else that should be here, not you, somebody with more experience. So that night, my VP and my director were there, and they said, let's meet at the bar before we go over to the first event. And my VP asked me, what are your goals for this week? So I rattled off, I want to touch this many different customers that we have for our team, and da-da-da-da-da. She replied, great, and of course, but what are your personal goals? What about you? How are you going to get out there, be known, and make an impression this week? Because this could be a big week for you. I stumbled, and she picked it up, and she said, this week is about you too. Network internally. Introduce yourself to all manner of customers and people within the company. This could be a game-changing week for you. You were picked. You made the impression this year. You're crushing it. You deserve to be here. Now own it. And in that moment, she killed the imposter syndrome within me. I needed somebody above me to speak life into me, to say, you are here for a reason and you deserve it. There's a fine line between humility and imposter syndrome. Listen, personally, I always hope to remain thankful and humble. But what I've been learning is it's really important to realize what I'm capable of and what I've done, and that I'm successful and I'm worthy of that success, and I've put in the hard work to get there. For this Work on Yourself Wednesday, it's time to own the best part of yourself. Write out what you excel at. Write out what others tell you that you're good at. Write out what you love to do. Then realize that you are here in this job with this company for a reason or reasons. There's something this company is going to gain from you being here. And there are going to be many things that you're going to gain or learn about yourself in this role. Write them down. Keep going back over it. Remind yourself what you're good at. Own it. Crush imposter syndrome this week. Kurt, what about the parts that you feel like you're an imposter at? You got to dig into why those negative things exist. Here we go. Past hurt, past trauma, things you failed at another job or in life, or even when you were at home or at school years ago. Our mind loves to hold on to those failures and those issues and bring them back up and tell us we won't be successful at that. We failed at this one other time. Why would we be successful now? And it's just fear, and it's things messing with us. Don't believe that. Do you know what can replace fear or imposter syndrome? Truth. Works every time. When I work at my things, it's this, and I've struggled at this. I go into, okay, but what is the actual truth about me? Truth replaces fear and imposter syndrome. So take those positive things that you heard from others or that you wrote down and you know to be true about yourself. Write them out. We're writing them out because we're going to speak them over ourselves. I am good at this. I know I succeed at this. I know I need this. I know I'm great at this. I know these things. Positive affirmation over oneself is huge. You're going to take those positive things because you're going to replace those things that you're not so good at or that you feel like an imposter at, that are messing with you, and you're going to replace it with the truth of what you're actually good at and who you truly are. So I gave you a lot of work to do on this Work on Yourself Wednesday. I want to encourage you to do it. This is what I've been doing over the last 6 to 8 years in a former life and in my current life to improve myself. You have to replace those negative things with positive things to see it through. Like I always say, you can do it. Don't back down. You got this. And I mean it. You got this, but you got to put in the work.